Hi, I'm Bill, and welcome to the channel. Lori's down at the hub in Silicon Valley, the hub of Silicon Valley. She made some female friends down there, and they invited her to drop in and do some open play with them. So she headed down there. I decided to come over to the courts and do some drilling. I've been working on third shot drops. I got a project to do 1,000 practice third shot drops before August 24th, which is the first tournament that we play in later this month. And right now I think I'm at 695 on that. But what I wanted to do in this video is just share with you something that I've learned. I've been playing pickleball off and on for 4 years. And I keep hearing the same things, but I'm not doing it. And the two things that Trish O'Neill, the head coach, pickleball coach down at the hub of Silicon Valley, has been working with me on, both through the private lessons that Lori and I are taking with Trish, as well as through the clinics, is keeping my head down and staying low. I'm finally accepting that pickleball is a game that's played low. And I'm 70 years old, and I have osteoarthritis in my right knee, which I'm getting some injections for, both hyaluronic acid, and a most recent one was a cortisone shot. But I could still get down, but I wasn't doing it. I thought I was doing it, but I really wasn't doing it. Yesterday, for the first time, it really started to click, and I had made a lot of progress doing a drill with Trish, trying to move up through the transition zone, and that staying low like this really helped me, and it's really I think going to make a big improvement in my game. Because when you're the serving team and you're trying to move up to get to the no volley zone, you have two third shot options. You could do a drive, or you could do a drop. If you do a drive, chances are, if the players are good on the other side of the net, they're going to block that ball back at you to keep you back. I mean, that would be their goal. They're already established. The returner returned back to the serving team. The returner did the second shot. Now the serving team has to do the third shot. So maybe we drive, or maybe we drop. What I'm seeing is when we drive, they push that ball back if they know how to play pickleball, because they're going to try and keep us back. They're going to deny us the ability to get up to the kitchen. But what often happens is when they try to push us back when we do a good drive, it turns into a shorter situation where we can do a shorter drop. You could drive again, but doing a drive from back here, you have more court to work with to try to keep that ball in. Once you start moving up into transition zone and you start driving, you run the risk of pushing that ball out. If they don't block it and they just let it turn and let it go, you now have a higher risk of that ball going out. So you're going to want to do some type of drop. Or for my game, I'm going to try and do a drop. And where I haven't been doing is I've been not keeping my head down, and I've been pulling my head up, and I've been pulling my paddle up, and when I do that, the ball goes up. So, and it kind of starts with the serve. So what Trish has been working with me on, and I'm starting to get, she's kind of changed my serving stance. I was I was kind of like this, and I was doing a serve like this, and it was okay. They were kind of, they were making it into the area where I needed to put the serve, but they really didn't have any power. And so she wanted to work with me to give me a way to give a little bit more pace onto my serve. And so instead of being open like this, I've kind of moved to more of a little bit of a closed stance. And the other thing, even on the serve, what I'm finding out is so much of pickleball is about how you grip your paddle. You don't want the death grip, I don't believe, you know. So I've been successful in eliminating that. But then there's variations of how loose do you want your paddle. And I think that's for you to experiment with to see what works for you. But I'm finding out that almost all shots, a looser grip can provide good results. Where I'm not necessarily doing a loose grip is when I'm trying to block back. Maybe they're doing a third shot drive and I'm trying to push that ball back. Now I'm not death gripping it, but I have a little bit more firmer grip on the paddle because I don't want it to twist. Now I know some people are good at putting a two-hand on. I haven't quite got to that yet, but so there's grip for me. This is what's helping to improve my game in working with Trish O'Neill. There's keeping my head down, in particular when I serve. That ball was actually a little bit high. I think I popped up. And that's what happens when I pop up. So let me see if I could stay down. Yeah, deep and in. So I gotta keep that head down. They'll call the shot out if it's out. Other than that, I assume it's in, so I don't really need to watch my ball. I need to keep my head down, watch my paddle come through and hit the ball, and then keep that head down so I'm not pulling my paddle up, which I had been doing. So a big improvement happened yesterday in our private lesson with Trish. She's got me, I think, on the right track for a serve that'll work with me and allow me to put a little bit more pace on the ball. The other thing that I've learned, this was a different coach at the hub of Silicon Valley, Neil Evangelista. We were doing a drill where we're digging out the balls, you know, simulating, you know, you're going back into defense and they're trying to hit the ball at your feet. I was looking up here at him hitting the ball and not seeing the ball hit my paddle, and I was just kind of swinging at it. So I couldn't, Neil pointed that out to me. And when he first pointed it out, I'm kind of thinking, well, you know, I've got good hand-eye coordination. Do I really need to look at the ball hit my paddle? And then I thought about it. And then I tried it in drill sessions here. And yeah, I get a much better result when I follow that ball to my paddle, keep my head down when I hit that ball. Because here again, if I look up, my paddle comes up, the ball goes up. If I keep my head down, I can see where to stop my paddle. So keeping my head down is something that I've not been very good at. And clearly, I've been playing pickleball without watching the ball hit the paddle. You know, again, I think ego or something, you know, my hand-eye coordination is so good I don't need to watch that ball hit that paddle. Well, yeah, I do. And that's really been reinforced. And I'm a true believer now, having worked with the coaching staff at the hub of Silicon Valley. And now it's my goal to incorporate those behaviors into my everyday game. And the way I start that is by coming out here and drilling. And I've just done a bunch of drills, both digging off the half volley, and now I can go back and I can look and I can say, okay, for those balls that went in the net, did I look up? Did I pull up? And for those balls that I was able to dig out, did they fall where I wanted them, which in my case was the kitchen. So again, that's a great thing if you're drilling, videotaping, because oftentimes we don't believe, or we think we're doing something and we're really not. So, but yeah, the other thing is really getting down low and moving low. It's since I've started doing that right in here, I can really feel it. But that's okay. Because what I think I've been doing is going like this, and I think I'm low, but my butt's out and I'm not balanced. But when I'm like this, I got good balance. My butt's not sticking out. I can move. So much of pickleball is about mobility. And if a 70-year-old can do it with a bad knee, you could do it if you think that that can be an important part of your game. Maybe you think you're already doing it, and if you are, fantastic. I'm a slow learner. Takes me a while. But I'm really excited because I think those two things of keeping my head down when I execute the shot, and of course when I do a drop shot, I want to time the ball where it's starting, it's reached its apex, it's starting to come down. I want to step into it, and it's like a long dink. And I want to keep my paddle pretty loose. I'm finding on my drop shots, if I keep that paddle loose, almost where it could fall out of my hand, I'm having more success. Again, different paddles perform differently. I've been playing a lot of different paddles recently, and what that's allowed me to do is its technique. I do believe a paddle could add some improvement to your game, the right paddle based upon the style of play. But it really, for me, having 3 Selkirks that I've played with within the last 6 months, the Conor Garnett, the AMA Sport Chronos 16 millimeter, and now the Holbrook Power Pro E 16 millimeter, which again, Holbrook Pickleball reached out to us and asked us if we'd like to try their paddles and test them out. Got this paddle last Friday, been drilling with it, got some competitive play in, and this will be my paddle that I'll play the next 2 tournaments with. So thank you, Holbrook Pickleball. Really enjoying using your paddle. But you know, there's your style of play, there's the paddle you're using, but if you're not already experimenting and exploring with changing how tight you're gripping the paddle, when I'm doing dinking, I've got that paddle. Now I'm a tip to grip type of dinker. I know some people dink on the side, although when I'm dinking backhand, I'm down and I like to put a little roll on it. I'm having some success with that. When I'm doing the roll, a little firmer grip, but it's not real tight. When I'm just dinking this way, it's loose. So again, if you're not playing around with the strength of your grip on various shots. Even with my serve, when I feel like I'm a little bit amped up, which is really my problem, when I get on the court, I get amped up. I'm working on some breathing exercises to try and slow myself down. Even when I serve, I've moved away from a very firm grip. I've got some looseness even in my serves now with the new serve stance and everything. And I'm getting plenty of depth into that there. But all right, I just wanted to share with you a couple of things that have helped me improve my game. Keeping my head down, getting low, maybe it'll help you if you need some help in that area. You might want to consider trying some of that. Videotape yourself, see what you're actually doing when you're playing. And you know, I think pickleball, unless you're a top pro with a 695 duper, if you enjoy competitive play, there's, for a slower skill level people like me, and maybe I'm a 3-0, there's plenty of room for improvement. It just comes down to the amount of effort you want to put in. So, all right. If you like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up. As always, like, share, and subscribe. And if you're not sure what paddles might be right for you, and you get an opportunity to try out a Holbrook pickleball paddle, you might want to give this paddle a try. They also have a 14 millimeter paddle, which Lori is getting familiar with. She's decided not to use it for the tournament. She's going to use her Anna Bright, but she just thought she needed a little more time to get comfortable with the paddle. My feeling is if you play with a lot of different paddles and you focus on your technique and you focus on grip strength and you focus on staying down and you focus on getting low, the amount of improvement the paddle is going to provide, maybe you're going to get 10 or 15%. But it's those other factors that are really, really important. So, all right, again, if you like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Other than that, we'll see you on the courts.